Welcome friends. Today we will discuss about nitrogen metabolism. I have sorted out some concept building questions that will help you to revise this chapter and build some important concepts. So in what form most of the plants obtain their nitrogen from soil? So plants are able to obtain the nitrogen from the soil, but in what form? So either in the form of nitrate or in the form of ammonia. So in these two forms, plant obtain their nitrogen from the soil. Next is which organisms are able to convert atmospheric nitrogen into biologically usable form. So only certain prokaryotic organisms are there which can fix. So certain prokaryotic organisms are there which are able to fix the atmospheric nitrogen into usable form, and this process is known as biological nitrogen fixation. Okay, so fixing of atmospheric nitrogen into biologically usable form is performed by only certain prokaryotic organisms, and this process is known as biological nitrogen fixation. Next question is, what is biological dinitrogen fixation? So biological dinitrogen fixation, it is a process of reduction of dinitrogen, okay, which is the gaseous nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen, to ammonia by living organisms. So what I said, the process of reduction of molecular nitrogen, which is dinitrogen, to ammonia is known as biological dinitrogen fixation, because here this dinitrogen is being fixed into ammonia, and this is a reduction process. Because there is an addition of hydrogen, it is a reduction process. Next is name some free living nitrogen fixers. So there are some symbiotic nitrogen fixers and there are some free living nitrogen fixers. So what they are, let's write down. Some free living nitrogen fixers. So what kind of organisms will they be? Can you guess? Just now I told that certain prokaryotic organisms are the ones which can fix the nitrogen. So this answer will be the prokaryotic organism only. So what are the names? So azotobacter. Please remember the names. Azotobacter. Next is Clostridium, Desulfovibrio. Okay. Now, several genera of cyanobacteria. Which genera of cyanobacteria? They include Anabena. All organisms of cyanobacteria cannot fix, but several genera of cyanobacteria can fix it. Among them are Anabena, Nostoc, Calothrix, etc. So what I said, among free living nitrogen fixers, some are aerobic, some are anaerobic. Azotobacter is aerobic. Okay, Clostridium and Desulfovibrio. So Clostridium and Desulfovibrio both are anaerobic. Okay, both are anaerobic. So this is also anaerobic, this is also anaerobic. So aerobic means they will grow only in presence of oxygen, anaerobic that they will grow in absence of oxygen. So did you get me? Azotobacter, Clostridium desulfovibrio, and some genera of cyanobacteria like Anabena and Nostoc, Calothrix, etc., they are the free-living nitrogen fixers. That means they are not dependent on any host plant for fixing the nitrogen. Next question is, next is name some symbiotic nitrogen fixers. So in the previous question we discussed free-living nitrogen fixers. Now it's symbiotic nitrogen fixers. Okay, so several genera of rhizobia. Okay, several genera of rhizobia like Azorhizobium, Bradyrhizobium, Photorhizobium, Cynorhizobium, they are all symbiotic nitrogen fixers and they all are included under rhizobia. So rhizobia is not an organism. Rhizobia is a class which includes several other genera of rhizobium. Okay. Next is mention the pteridophyta that has formed symbiotic association. So this is an important question. Mention a pteridophyta that has formed symbiotic association. So Azolla is a pteridophyte which is a tiny water fern. It forms the symbiotic association with, can you tell me with which organism? With which genera of cyanobacteria? With Anabena. Anabena is a genera of cyanobacteria we discussed in the last slide. So a pteridophyte that forms symbiotic association is Azolla, which forms symbiotic association with Anabena. Okay, Anabena is a cyanobacteria. Next question is, what is nitrogenase? So this enzyme is the most important enzyme in the biological nitrogen fixation. What is that? Now this enzyme, this is an enzyme complex. Okay, this is an enzyme complex. What it does? It catalyzes the reduction of nitrogen. So it catalyzes the reduction of, what it does? Molecular nitrogen or dinitrogen to ammonia. This is a balanced equation. Okay, so what nitrogenase does? It catalyzes the reduction of molecular nitrogen to ammonia. Okay, now in this reaction, what happens? This reaction is coupled to the reduction of two protons to H2. Okay, so here we can say that, so if I write the balanced equation, how it will be? It will be N2 dinitrogen plus 8 electrons plus 8 protons. It will produce what? It will produce two molecules of ammonia plus protons, and in the whole process 16 ATPs are required. And this reaction is catalyzed by nitrogenase. So what I said, what is nitrogenase? Nitrogenase is an enzyme complex. It catalyzes the reduction of nitrogen to ammonia, and in the whole process 16 ATPs are required, and this reaction is coupled to the reduction of two protons to H2. Means H2 is produced in the reaction. Okay. Next important question is why anaerobic condition is required for nitrogen fixation? Because, so what I said, which enzyme is required in nitrogen fixation? Nitrogenase enzyme is required in biological nitrogen fixation. But why the condition has to be anaerobic? It is because in aerobic condition, O2 is there. Now, whenever O2 will be there, it will irreversibly inactivate the nitrogenase enzyme. What is the use of nitrogenase enzyme? It this nitrogenase enzyme helps in the nitrogen fixation. And O2 when present, it deactivates the nitrogenase enzyme. So let's write down under aerobic condition what we see that O2 is present and this O2 inactivates the nitrogenase enzyme. That is why anaerobic condition is required for nitrogen fixation because its main enzyme is inactivated or irreversibly, here I write one word, irreversibly inactivate the nitrogenase enzyme. Okay, that's why anaerobic condition is required for nitrogen fixation. Clear? Next question. How does aerobic cyanobacteria create anaerobic condition for nitrogen fixation? This is another important topic. Okay, how aerobic cyanobacteria they can create anaerobic condition for nitrogen fixation. So these cyanobacteria they are able to create the anaerobic condition in their body. How they do that? This is because they have created a specialized cells called heterocyst. So aerobic cyanobacteria they create specialized cells or they have specialized cells known as heterocyst because they have specialized cells known as heterocyst. And what is this heterocyst? These heterocysts, they are thick-walled cells. They are thick-walled cells and these heterocysts lack photosystem 2. Very, very important. They lack photosystem 2. If photosystem 2 is absent, that means they cannot generate oxygen during photosynthesis. That is, they cannot generate oxygen during photosynthesis. If you remember the light phase of photosynthesis, there near the photosystem 2, water is hydrolyzed and oxygen and hydrogen is released. So if photosystem 2 is not there, water will not be hydrolyzed and oxygen will not be released. So if oxygen is not released, then that is what they want. So oxygen is not released during photosynthesis. Okay, so this does not happen in all the cells of cyanobacteria. This happens in a specialized cell in cyanobacteria and this specialized cell is known as heterocyst. Okay, so if this is the cellular structure of cyanobacteria, then this is the heterocyst, which is comparatively thick-walled. Okay. Next is, so this heterocyst can create the This heterocyst can create, because heterocysts do not have PS2, which is photosystem 2, so they can create the anaerobic condition for nitrogen fixation. I hope it is clear for you, right? Now the last question, this one is a revision question, the one which we have already done in the previous question. Can you tell me, please pause the video and try to recall this answer by yourself. Name some nitrogen fixing genera of cyanobacteria. Now can you recall this on your own? We have already done this. So it will be Anavena, which forms the symbiotic association with, what will be the answer? Azolla, which is a pteridophyte. Okay. Next is Calothrix, Thrix, Calothrix. Next is Nostoc, and there are several more. They can fix the nitrogen. Clear? So that's it for today. I hope this has helped you. Please like and subscribe the channel for more videos like this. Thank you.